hustling. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling.
Right.
Whenever I like do classes, I always like tell my students like just be like cool with just trying new stuff. Like everything doesn't have to look a specific way, and that was something cool I learned in fashion. Like we think that, especially if you went through school, like like you have to do everything a certain type of way, like ABC, like it has to go this way. But then I did an internship for Christian Cowan before, and I remember like he had this gorgeous dress with like it was like feathers all at the bottom, and it was so beautiful. And literally, this guy was hot gluing these feathers to this dress, and it just made me think like it was beautiful on the outside though. But I was just like, it just made me realize like this man has like a literally super successful, probably $1 million brand, and he is hot gluing feathers. Exactly.
Like if he doing it, somebody else can do it.
Exactly. So that just showed me like everything doesn't have to look like a cookie cutter way.
Right.
Like, you just have to, as long as it looks professional in the end result, you just like figure out your exactly. You just figure something out.
Find your own area. I love that. And to piggyback off of what you're saying about always staying a student. What would you tell the people to, start learning how to even become a fashion designer? Like, where would you direct them to?
So what I did, what I like specialize in is couture draping. So what I did, like when the pandemic happened, that's when I started learning how to drape, and I decided to like write down a list of everything I knew I'm not good at or things that I need to get better in. And I decided, okay, like we're all in the house, so I basically spent like each week learning different things on that list. So I would like look for the resources. If I couldn't find it on YouTube, let me go find a book. And I'll say books were also like super, super helpful.
Yeah.
So, and they're around like $30, $40 for something bad, And so I would say getting books and then like recognizing the areas I need to grow in, and then be intentional about like growing in those areas. Like if you know that maybe your quality isn't the best, then take some time to actually practice and work on your quality,
Yeah.
And so I think just like, recognizing your faults, your areas of improvement, and then be intentional about finding like resources that can help you grow in those things.
Yeah, I love that. Find and you don't have to take exactly like what you think is like wrong with you and be like, oh, just write it off. Like, like you can actually work on it and it can be and grow. And
exactly. And sorry.
No, go ahead, you got it.
I said like one thing that also helped is okay, so I used to ignore what was wrong with me, like, and I used to like, I didn't want to acknowledge it. It's almost like kind of trying to pretend like you're perfect or something.
Right.
And so I realized that I was doing that not only with my craft, but also on the inside. Like the things that I dealt with on the inside that were like imperfect. Like I used to struggle with jealousy really bad. Like unforgiveness, like all of this stuff. And I used to kind of like, I knew it was there, but it was like I was not working on
trying to fix it.
And so I feel like it's just important in general to realize those things, because I also feel like what you deal with on the inside is going to reflect in what you do in your career. Like that stuff follows you. So
absolutely.
If you are exactly, so it's like if you're struggling on the internally, like that's gonna show in your results of what you do in your business. Like you're gonna struggle externally
For
also.
real.
So
you're not at your A game. You're not
exactly. And it's like you can try and pretend and cover it up, but eventually it's going to come through. It's going to show. So I feel like just taking care of your insides, taking care of your spirit. Making sure you're good. Exactly, and then also working on those things like that you see in your business that you're not that good in, that you need to work on, like acknowledge them, then take those steps, like work on them,
Exactly. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jada. I love that. With that being said, I think
it might be pie time.
Pie time. Pie time. Let's bring out the pie.
Yes.
Look at our fabulous little
spread.
Love it. Love. We got, so this is your cheesecake. So this is cheesecake / pie time because she doesn't really like it.
Yes, thank you.
But we make sure to cater to our guests. Let's bring this back in here. Go ahead. And I will give you your apple pie. I'm joining you with cheesecake right now. And now with this pie time, sorry, I randomly go into like British accents. Like, I don't know, I really don't know why I do that, but if you catch it every once in a while, just pretend like you did it. But for pie time, we're just gonna run down more like general questions for entrepreneurships. For entrepreneurs, and not something so strict towards, you know, fashion designer, just somebody trying to get into entrepreneurship and could use like some encouragement.
Cool.
Yeah, so go ahead.
What advice would you give to somebody who's still working their 9 to 5, but like on the edge of becoming an entrepreneur, jumping in?
So cool thing is this is actually the longest I've been without like working a side job. Like whenever I was at money,
I love that. Congratulations. Love that.
Whenever I used to do prom, I ran out of my money, I would have to go like do Uber or something like that.
Yeah.
And even like last year, I had got a job at like UPS for like 3 months during like the holiday season.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing that always kept me going, because I still wanted to make fashion a priority.
Right.
I told myself like never make bills like priority over my purpose, which may sound crazy to some people, but I basically
I need you to look in the camera and I need you to say it again.
Yes. So I told myself like I will never make bills a priority over my purpose. And I'm not saying don't pay your bills. That's not what I'm saying at all. But sometimes when your life gets hard and then like you have like bad circumstances, you get so focused on like, okay, let me make this money to pay my bills. Like you just get in the habit of just like, oh, I'm working, trying to keep my life afloat, that you're not even dedicating any time to your passion, to your purpose.
Anything else.
Exactly. It's like I told myself like, if I come to Atlanta or if I stay in Atlanta and even if I struggle, I'ma still make sure whether I got $5, $100, $1,000, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna make sure I put some money aside to invest it back into what I came here for, which is my brand. And so I feel like if you have a 9 to 5, like, and you still want to, you know, pursue your dream, you have to be intentional about like making that a priority. You know, like don't let your job and your circumstances consume you. You know, like your circumstances will never be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Your bills are always going to be there.
Yep.
But the way for you, it's like the way for your circumstances to change, or even for you to be able to leave your job, is to take that extra hour, a few hours a week to put towards your business.
Exactly.
You know, like you have to literally be willing and dedicated to doing that. So that's like
I love
a big thing that I had to tell myself.
Love it. We had to get that off the chest for real, because I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck at. They're just like, oh, well, my car note's due next month, or I got to do this, I got to do this. So then you don't even have time. You don't even give yourself time to think about anything else that you can be doing.
Exactly.
But there is stuff that you can do. You just have to.
Amazing, like interesting opportunities to make money that like you can be interested in what you're doing still and still making way more than you were making before.
Literally, like, look, I would have like a whole schedule. Like I would Uber like for like half the day, then come home, take an energy drink, and sew. You know, like I made it work.
That's a youngin' hustling. Like,
period.
That's exactly what it is. Love that.
That is exactly Okay. How do you recuperate from a bad day? How do you spring back?
What do you do?
So I actually just feel like I recently started getting better at this. So before, I think I went through like a good period of like a year and a half or so of like feeling like so mentally fragile. I feel like something would happen and I would let it throw me off. Like something would happen, I get sad, or like say like, oh, I'm being consistent and I'm doing my habits and taking care of myself. Then something happens and I let it throw me off. And so then I start to get like in my feelings for a couple days, whatever the case may be, you know, and then it's just like everything's thrown off. And so I feel like now what I've realized that's been helpful, like I'm on this whole like consistency journey. I'm on like day 71.
Okay.
And,
71. That's a long time. That's a good time to be.
But I feel like I've just been prioritizing like my self-care, prioritizing taking care of my spirit, taking care of my mind, And it's honestly helped me stay in a good place. And another thing that I feel like is super, super extremely important, actually two things. One, always keep like your vision in front of you. So literally, I write down what I'm working towards.
I knew that was coming.
Like for real, literally write down what I'm working towards every day, because you literally have to see it. Like this pastor that I had listened to, he says like, focus on what you saw, like don't focus on what you see. So focus on the vision that you saw, not what you see currently. And so I have to keep my vision like, in front of me, you know?
Yeah.
And then another thing is like gratitude. Like I have realized, I have so many stories about gratitude, but I just realized the power of being grateful. Like literally when you just stay grateful about stuff, the smallest things, like I feel like it just keeps your spirits up. Like one of my favorite stories to tell people, I remember like back in April, I was like practicing like just being grateful, practicing my gratitude, and I remember I had like stubbed my toe in my sewing machine. It was on the floor, and I was about to like get mad. I was like, and before like just saying anything else, I said, I'm so grateful I have a sewing machine to stub my toe.
Thank you God for this stubbed toe.
Exactly. And then I remember like I was on the way to like somewhere, but then I pulled over to the gas station and I got a message saying like Good Morning America wanted to have me on the show. Wow. And so then I leave the gas station, literally 30 seconds later, I get pulled over, my car gets towed, and I get a ticket. And literally, instead of letting that get to me, I just was focusing on Good Morning America.
Yeah, Good Morning America. I don't know.
I kept finding so much stuff to be grateful for that it didn't even affect my mood.
I love that.
It feels so good to know that like bad things can happen to you and you're unaffected. Like that's being unbothered, you know?
It's like feeling immune towards that.
Like I'm in my own bubble. The universe can't mess with me.
Exactly.
Love that.
And so that's like literally what helps me keep my spirits up. It's like remaining grateful and like just keeping that vision in front of me. So,
love that. Love that.
So like what are some daily habits or like a morning routine if you have one?
So typically what I do, okay, so this girl gave me some good advice because I always struggle with the morning routine because I felt like it's so much stuff I want to do.
Yes. I get overwhelmed. Like I gotta pray, I gotta journal, I gotta listen to Jesus. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Exactly. And I feel like, okay, me trying to do this morning routine takes hours. Like it felt like it took like 2 hours.
It does.
And so then I was like, okay, I'd be so on go. I was like, and another thing with the morning routine I was trying to have, it taking so long, it also made it hard to do it every day, like consistently. Yeah. And so then this girl gave me some advice, and she was like, give yourself grace. Like, do what you know you can do. Like, you know yourself. What can you handle? Right. And I told myself, I know I can dedicate an hour a day to myself. Right. And so I broke it down like 5 minutes of prayer. I think like 10 minutes of like reading the word, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading a book that's just like whether it's entrepreneurship or whatever, 10 minutes of gratitude. I think like another 5 minutes of like affirmations or like focusing on my vision.
Love that.
And so literally like even though it's only like 5 to 10 minutes for each thing, literally it literally gets me in the right place. That's, that's how I'm able to be on day 70 because I'm doing what I know I'm able to do. Right. And then like another thing she told me, she was like, even when it comes to like waking up, she was like, she gives herself grace by saying, I just need to wake up between this hour to this hour. So if I want to be up by 6, if I want to be up by 6, I just want to wake up between like maybe like 5:30 to 6:30 or something like that. And so if I don't hit 6, that's okay.
Yeah, your whole day isn't ruined, you know? I love that. That is a good, I'm going to start putting that into my morning routine.
That was really helpful for me because it's like easy to be hard on yourself, like, dang,
I
got up late, or, you know, or dang, I should be
late. But no, I was still in my time.
Exactly.
I love that.
So that's been like really helpful. And then she said, as you like gain that consistency, then you can start to change it up. So she was like, she went from giving her an hour like time frame to like shorten it down to 45 minutes after like being consistent. Yeah. And even I feel like with me, like now that I am at like day 70 now, I want to start adding like working out into that morning routine because it's like, okay, you got a flow now. So I feel like that is like something that's been like really helpful for me.
Love that. I'm definitely stealing that, stealing that, definitely.
Gonna be doing that tomorrow. What do you think is one of the most challenging things about becoming an entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur?
I'll say, for some people, I feel like it's just like starting. Like
Yes.
getting
No,
out of your head and
literally just
starting.
doing it is,
You know?
is the hardest.
Like, and also just trying to like, I think you have to have faith in your dream, but it's like other things that come with that. So whenever I see people who don't want to invest in themselves, but just you say you have this big old dream, like clearly you don't believe in your dream that much because you don't want to invest in it.
Yeah.
Like you don't truly value it, and so I feel like you have to like really have faith in your dream, so that way you can like put all that's required into it in order for it to grow. And then like just get out your head and just start. Like I started to get overwhelmed the other day because I was like, dang, like I have so much stuff on my plate right now, and I was like, I just like want to figure out how can I like balance it. But then I was like, I changed like my perspective on that, and I got happy because I was like, I started this year off like not doing everything that I said I was going to do. And I was like, well, now I'm saying I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed because I'm actually doing everything I said I would do.
Right.
So I was like, just be happy that you actually started all of this
Exactly,
stuff. Like,
in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, all of my goals now that I like set for the year is probably like 2 of them that I haven't done yet, but I'm still probably gonna knock them out before the year.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's like, be happy that you started. Like some people don't even get to the point to where they have to figure out how to balance it because they're so in their head. They're so like, oh my gosh.
Like you're
like,
very far.
yeah, and I'm like, I'm happy I started, and now I am at the point where it's like, okay, my problem is figuring out how can I make sure I get everything done, you know? So
I
think
love
that's
that.
like super important.
Last and most important question. Do you want to ask it?
It's very serious, so I want to make sure that we have it. Okay. You ready? Do you think men should be allowed to have their toes out in public?
Those mandals out in
Because
public? Just out in the
my
mall?
opinion is absolutely not.
You go to the grocery store, you see a pair of dogs. I don't think.
Because a lot of these men's toes be ugly.
Like
So
If
you
it
like
was
hide them.
pedicured, if it was pedicured, I wouldn't have a problem. But you're gonna have them crusty, dusty,
Right.
But
gargantuan toes
honestly,
in my face.
I don't know because even with it being manicured, like or having a pedicure, my dad gets his toes done and they still ugly.
I think it's just a man thing.
It's just like, cover them things up. Like, cover them up.
At least put some socks on. Like,
Exactly. But you know what kills me though? When they wear the socks and the sandals in the pool, like they wear socks in the pool. Y'all ever seen that?
no.
Maybe
In
not
Atlanta?
Maybe that was a Texas thing, but
Oh.
dudes, I guess they was
Socks and
taking that
sandals
seriously.
in the pool?
Well, they would wear their socks in the pool, but it used to
Oh.
like drive me crazy because I would think, okay, I get that you may have ugly feet, but you wearing socks in the pool?
In the pool.
Like,
We're trying to give you a.
That had to be a Texas thing.
It has to be because I ain't never seen it here. Thank you so much for being here. Before we close out, is there anything else you'd like to tell the future younginaires out there? Any last words of encouragement, motivation, anything you'd like to leave the camera with before you hop out of here?
I would say just keep going. Don't give up. Don't let what you may see like the success of other people doing like get to you. Just focus on your dream, your purpose, and just make it a priority to move towards that purpose every single day, and eventually you'll get there.
I love that. Love that. Yes, you heard it here first, folks. And if you're a youngin' and you're struggling, it's time to get to hustling. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Younginaires. Bye.
Hustling every day.